Once upon a time, in a big kingdom in the heart of Africa, there lived a kind and handsome prince named Chijioke. He was the only son of King Okafor and Queen Nena. Prince Chijioke was loved by everyone in the kingdom. He was strong, brave, and very wise. But despite all the good things about him, there was one thing that made him very sad. He didn't know if his 3 wives truly loved him. Chijioke's first wife, Adaeze, was very beautiful and sweet. She had a soft voice and always smiled at him. But sometimes the prince wondered if she loved him or if she loved the title of being the prince's wife. His second wife, Amara, was strong and independent. She often helped the people of the village. But Chijioke was not sure if Amara loved him for who he was, or if she only loved his power and the good things his title brought. The third wife, Nkiru, was gentle and caring. She made sure that Chijioke's meals were always delicious, and she took care of him when he was sick. But the prince thought, does she love me for my heart, or does she love me because I am the prince? One day, Chijioke thought of a way to find out. He wanted to test the love of his wives, but he did not want them to know. So he came up with a clever plan. He decided to fake his own death. He went to his father, the king, and told him about his plan. The king was shocked, but he understood that the prince needed to know if his wives loved him truly. The king agreed to help, but he told Chijioke to be careful. Chijioke gathered his wives together in the royal palace and told them that he was feeling very weak. He said he wanted to rest for a while. The wives were very worried, but they promised to take care of him. Then, late one night, Chijioke secretly left his room and went to the royal healer's hut. He used a special powder given to him by the healer to make it look like he was dead. When the powder was applied to him, he fell to the ground, and his body became still. The next morning, the palace was filled with sadness. The news of Prince Chijioke's death spread quickly through the kingdom. His wives were heartbroken. They cried and cried, each one claiming to have loved him the most. Adaeze, the first wife, said, "I loved him with all my heart. I gave him everything, and I stayed by his side through all his troubles. I will mourn him forever." Amara, the second wife, said, "I loved him because he was my husband. I loved him because he was strong and kind. I will never forget him." Nkiru, the third wife, wept silently. She said, "I loved him because he was always there for me. I will miss him every day." Days passed, and the people of the kingdom made plans for the prince's funeral. The king, feeling very sad, stayed inside his palace. But Chijioke was not dead. He was hiding in a small house near the village, watching everything that was happening. One by one, each wife visited the prince's grave. They placed flowers and said their goodbyes. But the prince was still unsure. He wanted to know if they would really love him if he was not the prince anymore. The first wife, Adaeze, came to the grave with many beautiful flowers. She said, "I wish you were here. I will always love you, but now that you are gone, I can find someone else to be with. Life must go on." Chijioke watched from his hiding place and felt sad. Adaeze didn't love me for who I am, he thought. She only loved me because I was the prince. The second wife, Amara, came to the grave next. She was strong and brave, and her face showed no fear. She stood before the grave and said, "You were a great prince. I will always remember you, but I will continue to do my work in the village. Life will go on." Chijioke's heart sank. Amara didn't love me for who I am either, he thought. She only cared about my strength and the work I did for the kingdom. Finally, Nkiru, the third wife, came to the grave. She was quiet and sad, but her eyes were full of love. She knelt beside the grave and whispered, "I will miss you every day. You were more than a prince to me. You were my friend, my love. Even if you are gone, I will never forget you. I will wait for you." Chijioke's heart skipped a beat. Nkiru truly loved me, he thought. She loved me for who I am, not for what I have. After hearing these words, Chijioke knew what he had to do. He couldn't keep pretending to be dead anymore. He returned to the palace and went straight to Nkiru's room. When she saw him, she gasped in shock and joy. "Prince Chijioke, you are alive," she cried. "Yes, Nkiru," he said. "I was testing your love and you passed the test. You loved me for who I am, not because I am a prince." Nkiru hugged him tightly. "I will always love you," she said. The prince then called Adaeze and Amara to the palace. They were both surprised and upset when they saw him alive. Chijioke told them about his test. I wanted to know if you loved me for who I truly am, he said. But now I know the truth. Adaeze and Amara were both sad, but they understood. They had learned a lesson that love should not be about power or titles. From that day on, Prince Chijioke and Nkiru became the closest of friends and partners. The kingdom rejoiced, knowing that true love had won. The prince ruled wisely with Nkiru by his side, and they lived happily ever after. And so the story of the prince and his test of love became a legend in the kingdom. People would tell it for many years, teaching that true love comes from the heart, not from titles or power. Hope you enjoyed the story. If you do, give it a thumbs up to encourage us bring amazing, more enchanting stories your ways. Today, let's about the life lessons from this story. Number 1 is true love is about who you are, not what you have. Love should come from the heart or within in your mind, not from titles or wealth. I truly appreciate your support and love. It means the world to me that you took the time to enjoy this story. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Your feedback helps me create even better content for you. I can't wait to share more amazing stories with you in the next video. See you soon and take care.